Welcome back. I'm Roger Stone, and you're here on the Alex Jones Show. This in from the White House. As we reported here at InfoWars, General John Kelly continues to try to crack down on any communications with the president that doesn't go through him. He has successfully managed to squeeze out the president's longtime bodyguard and confidant, Keith Schiller. We have learned that Schiller's showdown with General Kelly revolves specifically around a link to a news story that Schiller showed the president, which evidently General Kelly did not want the president to see. It is extraordinary that Keith Schiller is leaving. It is even more extraordinary that the president is letting him go. But our sources say General Kelly gave a him or me ultimatum to the president. Schiller is nothing if not the loyal soldier. He's not talking. He is just telling people he's returning to that he is going to Boca Raton, Florida, where he will open a new security firm. But friends tell us that he is unhappy with this term of events, and of course concerned about his oldest friend and leader, the president. Now, I have heard that there is an upside to General Kelly's activities. Among those who are now being squeezed out and whose contact with the president has been entirely cut off is Omarosa of Apprentice fame. Now, Omarosa has been the subject of a number of reports here before because when she joined the White House staff, she quickly emerged as an advocate for the government of Jovenel Moïse, or Mos, I guess it's Moïse, who is a puppet for the very same people who worked with Bill Clinton and his wife to essentially steal all of the earthquake aid, billions of dollars, leave that country not only plagued with malaria, but without housing, schools, roads, bridges, hospitals, literally the financial rape of Haiti. Incredibly, Omarosa persuaded President Trump to send a delegation, not from our State Department, but from the White House, unheard of from a diplomatic point of view, to the inauguration of this puppet government, who had only been elected after 2 elections, both of them marked with widespread fraud. The fraud in the first one was so public that the election was thrown out. The fraud in the second one was a little better concealed, but not really. The theft of Haiti, the rape of Haiti, continues. This is about extracting the minerals, the oil, the gas, the other trace minerals of which the country is rich. When the federal government response to the earthquake was led by Hillary Clinton, the UN response was grabbed by Bill Clinton. Consequently, the contracts for housing and other enormous big-ticket items went to Clinton cronies who in many cases had never built a house in their life and still haven't. So why was it that Omarosa, a staunch Trump supporter, would be fronting for the left-wing puppet corrupt government of the Clintons and their allies? Well, the answer is a Democratic consultant named Ron Daniels. Daniels, who is a charming political power broker, hosted Omarosa in Haiti in 2007. She also would travel there with him on other occasions. The government that she has endorsed is already under investigation for narco trafficking. And the president campaigned openly with Guy Philippe, who the DEA has under indictment and who says is perhaps the greatest drug trafficker in Haiti. This is who Omarosa helped empower. So in the case here of General Kelly squeezing out Omarosa, while it does not make up for the mistake of purging Keith Schiller, it is certainly good news for those who recognize that the president has not stepped up on his commitment to the people of Haiti. The president was very critical of the Clintons' activities there and said he would stand up for the Haitian people. He's very popular among Haitian Americans. Indeed, he's popular in Haiti overall. But he needs to keep his commitments, and when we help that nation, the money should not go in the pockets of oligarchs and narco traffickers and the financial elite run by Michael Martelli, who was a former president and who is running the show. And that's the story on Omarosa. Now, I can tell you that I have read Hillary Clinton's book, What Happened? What happened? Well, it's really not complicated. The American people found out that the Hillary Clinton who was presented to them by the media in the 2000s as Senator Clinton and then Secretary of State Clinton was not the kindly grandmother that she depicted herself, not the elder statesman, but in fact a short-tempered, venal, self-centered, egotistical, entitled, greedy, vicious, nasty, and foul-mouthed woman. This is the portrait of her that you can see in the Clintons' War on Women, the book I wrote, which is the essential oppo dump on Hillary and her co-conspirator husband. Never think that they are not a team, despite the fact that they do not have a child in common. But it is interesting that in her book, Hillary Clinton says the following. Then, on August 8th, Trump's longest-time consigliere, Roger Stone, who cut his teeth as one of Richard Nixon's dirty tricksters, bragged to a group of Florida Republicans that he was in communications with Assange and predicted an October surprise. This was a shocking admission made in public from Trump's longest-serving political advisor. Stone made similar statements on August 12th, 14th, 15th, and 18th. On the 21st, he said, "Trust me, it will soon be Podesta's time in the barrel." As I have noted, we had a good chance that Stone's email might have been hacked, but we didn't know for sure. Stone kept at it. She goes on to say, meanwhile, Roger Stone continued to tweet warnings that WikiLeaks was preparing to drop a bomb on us, one that would destroy my campaign and land me in prison. He was such a bizarre character, it was hard to know how serious to take anything he said. But we didn't know what other dirty tricks may be coming our way. I'm bizarre. Hillary Clinton banished Bill Clinton's abandoned son, Danny Williams, and essentially consigned him to a life of poverty, her husband's own flesh and blood. That's at the same time she's telling us she thinks Black lives matter. Well, they don't matter if you're Danny Williams. Hillary Clinton is the one who hired the heavy-handed private detectives and nasty lawyers to badger, threaten, intimidate, and bully the various victims of her husband, either rape or sexual assault victims. How do we know this? David Brock's book, The Education of Hillary Rodham, documents it precisely. Who's bizarre, Mrs. Clinton? To be very clear, Julian Assange and WikiLeaks tweet on numerous occasions that they have the goods on Hillary and that they will release them. This is not rocket science. When I said that I was communicated, I had in all those cases qualified by saying that. Once I read this online, I had asked a journalist friend to get me a confirmation, which he did, off the record. Therefore, we have the information on WikiLeaks in their tweets, and we have confirmation. Yes, I definitely reported it right here at InfoWars, among other places, also at the Stone Cold Truth, and in my Twitter feed. It all turns out, of course, to be accurate. This is Hillary Clinton, again, aping this argument put forward by Adam Schiff, the real Schiff head, who is the head of the ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. By the way, I don't know why they call it that in view of the facts, but it is also true that she buys into the whole notion that I knew about John Podesta's email being hacked in advance. I never said anything of the kind. FactCheck.org, financed by the Annenberg Foundation, has confirmed that there's just no evidence that that is the case. Now, I learned from Dr. Jerry Corsi in an extraordinary opposition research memo that he gave me on October 1st that I will be admitting as an exhibit in my testimony next week about the extent of John and Tony Podesta and Bill and Hillary Clinton's business dealings in Mother Russia, that they were the ones in bed with the oligarchs around Putin. There's the uranium deal, the banking deal, the lucrative Gazprom contract, and that the entire narrative was now fair game. Let's remember the context. The Clinton people are dumping on Paul Manafort at this juncture, and they are hounding him out of the Trump campaign on the basis of nothing, when they themselves have worked with Manafort on Ukrainian issues. Little hypocrisy there, no. And then, of course, the charge that Trump is in bed with the Russians is invented by Podesta himself to distract from these relationships. In other words, there was a candidate in bed with the Russians. Unfortunately, that candidate is Hillary Clinton. Her book is largely unreadable. It's clear to me that she did not write it. She regurgitates the same lies about Guccifer 2.0, that he was a Russian asset. We don't know that to be true. Or that the Russians hacked the DNC. In fact, that even appears to be unprovable. It is the basis of the lawsuit against me by the Obama front. And of course, they cannot prove that in law. In fact, based on the Nation magazine article of several weeks ago, and the writings of not only the experts William Binney and Ray McGovern, both counterintelligence agencies high in our intelligence bureaucracy before they riffed out and started telling the truth. Both of them indicate that based on the science, the download times, and other measures, it's far more likely that any information stolen from the DNC was loaded to portable drives, most likely thumb drives, and taken out the back door. The Democratic diplomat, Craig Murray, says that he received this material. He implies that is from Seth Rich, but he won't say, and that he passed it on to WikiLeaks. Case closed. This problem solved. But the U.S. Congress has voted to punish Russia for the hacking that they cannot provably be tied to. And it is an article of faith. Indeed, I would say the absolute premise of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees in Mr. Mueller's investigation is that the Russians hacked the DNC, something that, again, we have no proof of. I'll be speaking about this, of course, in my testimony before the House Intelligence Committee next week. What Alex Jones told you was true. They insist to this day that this be behind closed doors, even though Adam Schiff and Congressman Swalwell and Congressman Spire and Congressman Himes and others in this retinue have slimed me in public, have said things that are demonstrably and provably not true in public session. They now, of course, do not want to allow me the opportunity to respond in public session. What is it they fear? I mean, I have very little experience on television. I think it would be a fair fight, but they're not interested in that. They're interested in cosseting me. They will not agree to an immediate release of the transcript. They'll let my lawyers examine the transcript at some point later. So we've seen this act before. You testify to the best of your recollection. You have a lot to say. And then they mischaracterize, they lie about what you said behind closed doors, that you love Vladimir Putin, that you want to move to Russia. Who knows? As someone whose family was mowed down by Russian tanks in Budapest in 1956, the idea that I work for the Russians is offensive. It's also a lie. Doesn't matter how many bots on Twitter say, Stone, you're a traitor, you work with the Russians, you're going to jail. None of those things, I assure you, is true. So you people don't have much to look forward to. But in this particular case, they will not even allow my wife to enter the room. They will strip search us or make us go through mags. There'll be no recording devices. They want no record of what they intend to do. All 20 members of the committee will be present. There'll be 2 questioners from the Republican Party, 2 questioners from the minority Democratic Party. The Republicans have named their questioners. They are Trey Gowdy, and Tom Rooney, both very able and decent men, and I think good legislators. And the Democrats have yet to name their designated hitters, but one would have to hope for Adam Schiff and perhaps Jackie Speier. That would be a day at the beach. But let's see how this works out. I am going to have an InfoWars camera embedded with me in the hours both before and after my testimony, so you're going to get an inside look at how this works right here at InfoWars. You're not going to want to miss this. We're going to Disneyland on the Potomac, folks, and we're going to face down the deep state and their running dog lackeys on the House Lack of Intelligence Committee, where they are running out of steam on the so-called Russian meme. There we see Chris Ruddy at Newsmax using the worst possible photo of me that he could find. It is going to be informative, and I think it is going to be very important to recognize that the entire Russian narrative, their Russian delusion, collusion, running out of steam. I am going to release my statement in advance, as Mr. Comey did, and I'm going to clear up a lot of misconceptions that have been put forward by the committee. Follow these developments here at InfoWars because they're going to have it first. We are going to meet with the media both before and after my session to make sure that there are no misrepresentations about what happened. I want to ask you again to take your part in history. Go to the Infowars.com store and get your Clinton rape T-shirt. When these are gone, they are gone. They're a part of history. They're going to end up in the Smithsonian. But when you go to the store and you buy these for your family, and I'd get as many as you could, you're helping the fight for freedom. You're helping our expansion. You're helping us to continue to be the tip of the spear and fight for the Trump agenda and the Trump nationalist reform fight, the vital struggle for the survival of America and Western civilization. So please go to the store and you can accomplish all that. I'm Roger Stone, and I'll be back.
In ancient times, man roamed the earth in a constant state of hunting or being hunted. Introducing Caveman, where cutting-edge science meets ancient super nutrients. Secure your bottle right now at InfoWarsStore.com.